The last part of our Chapter 7 practice test, we're solving radical equations. You have to do a check, although I'll tell you what, for number 15, because you have an odd root, you can actually get away with doing a check. You don't have to do a check here. Certainly are always able to. What you always want to do, however, regardless of what kind of a problem you have, you want to make sure that you have a radical by itself. Right now on that left-hand side, you've got the cube root of x, but it's not alone. You've got that minus 2. So add a 2. It's just like solving in Algebra 1 where you were just solving for a single variable. Get that variable alone. In Algebra 1, you'd get the radical alone here. Well, now what? To get rid of a cube root, we're going to raise up to the third power. And you just have an x here. 2 to the third is actually going to just get you 8. Now I said that you don't have to do a check, and that is true. But I do want to just reinforce how to do a check, especially with the calculator. Hit 8, hit the store button, it's right by the 1, then hit your x. Let's see if the left-hand side is going to get what we want it to. I'll hit math. Come down here to the cube root, I'll type in the cube root of x. Then I'll type minus 2. Now if you're right, this left-hand side should equal 0. That's what we're seeing right here. It is. This checks. You're going to get x equals 8. I do want to remind you though, for an odd root, you technically don't have to do a check at all. Very helpful to know that. For these last videos, we're just doing 2 problems at a time. So we're just going to do 16 and then take a break and go on to our final video. But looking at 16, you've got 2 radicals. You've got a radical on the left, you've got a radical on the right. They're both square roots. There's that understood index of 2. They're never going to write it out for you that way. But what you need to do to get rid of a square root is you're going to have to square. You have to raise both sides to the second power. You'll have x minus 7. On the right side, you square the square root. You just have 2x plus 3. Now, as you solve, you need to get rid of your small x. Let's minus an x from both sides. You'll have negative 7 is equal to x plus 3. I'm going to recopy that up here. As you get x alone, you're going to have to minus a 3 from both sides. And you'll get x equals negative 10. Now, a lot of kids on the practice test did a great job solving. They got this far, in fact. What they didn't do was check. Here's what you really need to do. If you type in negative 10, if you store that in for x, let's see what happens when we even look at the left-hand side. We'd get the square root of x minus 7. You'll quickly see you're not allowed to even plug in a negative 10 here. Why? Negative 10 minus 7 is negative 17. You'd have a square root of a negative number. The check fails. What does that mean? You have no solution, and we are done.